Alright, here we are on our first game. Interested to see how our green base looks in comparison to our black. Just in terms of our opening hand. Looks fine. We're on the draw, so looks fine to me. Another 2-drop for us. Alright, cool, we got a third land. That looks great. I think we go ahead and just drop the Grove Dancer here. And turn 3 Chimera is looking pretty sweet. And if it gets countered, then like whatever, I guess. He could also have Omen of Sun. Nope, doesn't. Alright, cool. That looks like a Chimera. If he counters it, then I think we're just fine. And if he doesn't, then we're gonna hit him for a lot of damage next turn if he doesn't play anything. Well, that's that's not suspicious. So at this point, I'm pretty certain that he has an Omen of the Sun or something like that. Other flash cards, you could have the 0/5 or the 2/2 with flash. They're both in blue. I think I'm considering playing the Lampad first, just so I can sack it if anything crazy happens. No, I think we're just fine attacking into this and then just dropping the Marauder. I expect him to play an Omen of the Sun or something like that. Okay. Or Triumphant Surge. Sure. That seems fine. Okay, Rumbling Sentry here. It's not a card that I've seen played a whole lot. He scryed on bottom, sure. So we have a few options here. We can Funeral Rites, which will get some stuff into the graveyard for our Loathsome Chimera. But the Loathsome Chimera, even with 5 power, will not get through this Rumbling Sentry. So I think our 2 real options here are 1, playing out the Nyxborn Marauder and just waiting until next turn to Final Death the Rumbling Sentry, or 2, Final Deathing the Rumbling Sentry now, and just attacking for 6. Both seem fine, but I think I'm just going to play out the Nyxborn Marauder for now and just pass back. Yeah, I hate to use removal on the Rumbling Sentry, but right now it's a little in our way, so we're gonna have to get through it somehow. Again, not suspicious at all. With the possibility that he has either Whirlwind's Denial or the other counterspell that lets you scry too. Those are the only ones that can counter this. Deny the Divine is the only card that he could have. Deny the Divine is probably the most commonly played counterspell, but it would not affect his Final Death. So maybe we just go for it, because Deny the Divine Sure, I think we just go for it. And if he has the counterspell, then we're still okay, because we can just Funeral Rites next turn and get some more stuff going. Okay, he had the Whirlwind Denial. So we just pass back here. We do get another card in our graveyard for the Chimera. So after we cast Funeral Rites next turn, we're going to have enough to bring it back. I don't like that opponent is just sitting there doing nothing. Well, what are the odds that resolves? Obviously that would be fantastic if we could just play Blight Breath and kill the 3/6, but that's just... the odds of that happening are just near zero. So we probably just Funeral Rites here. We milled 2 of our Blight Breaths. And I think we just dropped the land pad and pass. I'd love for him to tap out. That would just be awesome if we could do that. Something's coming. Okay. Sure, so he's got a Rumbling Sentry here. He did not play a land last turn, right? So... no. So that means that I think he's holding up a Karametra, or not the bounce spell, whatever that is. That's really the only card you can have for a single blue. You couldn't have Spirit Mantle or anything. So I think we just go for the Catoblepus here. And it's like, if he wants to return his own card to his hands, that seems fine. Sure. Stern is... that's what it's called. Sure. So, I mean, like, all things considered, just developing our board and making him spend a card to not have his thing die seems okay to me. Witness of Tomorrows could be annoying. We have enough mana to just play both of these guys. It is worth noting we did see a Shatter the Sky going around in the draft, but I think he has enough commitment to the board that we don't really have to worry about it. And like if he does, then we can just bring back the Chimera, and that seems like okay. Not great, but like we're not gonna just lose on the spot. So you can start hitting us for 3 in the air every turn with Witness, which is not great for us, but not terrible. Unfortunately, we don't have another Catoblepus we can draw into, but I did leave the one in the graveyard in case we draw Omen. Wow. Okay, that's going to be a heavy hitter if it resolves. What are the odds it resolves? I think if we're going to resolve it, this is probably the turn to do that because he just put a card on top of his library. And the odds that he put a counterspell up there, especially because he's ahead on the board because of the Witness, is pretty likely. So playing the Gray Merchant would drain him 6, 7, 8. We're draining for 9, so it would leave him at 10. And then the lamp pad is actually almost enough to kill him if we draw like a discordant piper or something. So I think we should go for that. Just, sure. If he counters it, then like that's not great, but can't blame us for trying. Looks like it's gonna resolve, so we're gonna drain him for 9 here unless he has something to do about it. That's awesome. So at this point, we are almost in range of just being able to drain him out. So we can, let's see. We have 7 creatures right now. So we can sack 3. Like, say we sack these 3, right? It costs 3 mana, so we take them to 7. Then we can also bring them back. Or bring the Catoblepus back next turn and sack it again. So if we attack with, like, all of these guys, right? And then we just let the guys that get through, we just sack them, then I think we win next turn. Right? So he'd do block, 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 sack, 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 7, 6, 5, 4. Yeah, I think we just do that. That seems sweet. We can actually just let whatever this guy blocks, we can just let live. Interesting that he's blocking the Catoblepus with that, because if we can just bring it back. Oh, did I just attack with this? I did not mean to do that. Well, that definitely changes things a little bit. That is incredibly unfortunate. So he's going to take... Oh, he's still dead. Okay, cool. Right. Okay, either way. I definitely shouldn't have done that, because if he had a bounce spell or anything, we would have been dead on the crackback. Not dead on the crackback, but we would have lost a lot of our advantage. We wouldn't really have had a way to get damage through for the rest of the game. Okay, so I think Plummet looks like a pretty clear sideboard here for the Witness. I wish we had a Return to Nature or something like that, but I mean, whatever. Warbriar Blessing, not sure it's gonna do a whole lot this game, just because he's 2 3/6s, and I'm just not sure we're gonna be able to get through that with the Warbriar Blessing. It is nice if we like attack into it and then it blocks, and then we can just finish it off. But more times than not, that's just gonna be a trade, because we don't really have a lot of creatures with like 5 toughness. So maybe that's the cut here. Not entirely clear. This could also just shoot down a Witness like a Plummet. But like all the cards that like if we put this on a card, like on a 4-power creature, the Witness that could kill the Witness, like the Chimeras would trade unless we brought them back. So it's really just like 1, 2, 3 options. Yeah, I think this is fine. Seems like a pretty sweet keep here. Even if we don't have a target for Omen of the Dead, we can just turn it into a zombie, which is always a good option to have. Would be nice to draw some green, but like this is a great opening hand. I think we just turn to Femi here. Interesting that we didn't see like a Dreadflapthy or anything from him that game. Sweet. Guess we'll just attack. The Wave Break Hippocamp could just get out of control pretty quickly, so we probably want to find an answer for that pretty soon. It also would be nice to draw a forest for... Oh, cool. Okay, never mind. For if he plays a witness next turn, so we can keep getting him with Euphemia. As it is, or as it stands, I think we just... I'm tempted to just attack with the Lampad. It's not going to block. And if he does, then I'm happy to trade with either of these guys in the crackback. And if he kills it, then we can turn it into a 2-2. I think there's no reason to not attack with this guy. Sure. Got all that extra damage. And then I think post-combat we can just put the camera. If anything crazy happens, I think we just play Omen here. Well, I mean, no urgency on my turn. Because it's not like we could get it into the graveyard anyway. Please play Witness. Okay, I'm just gonna play Omen. If he wants to counter it, then that's fine. I don't think he will, but... Okay, unfortunately we didn't draw a land there, but we're still in solid shape. He could have Thrix here. I know that's like a very out there statement, but I just find that a lot of the time that opponents pass with 5 mana up and just like attacked for less damage than they're going to be willing to take. It could also be that... Oh, well, Riptide Turtle's fine. It's annoying that he keeps drawing cards off of the Hippocamp. Sure. It can only lock the Lampad anyway. So let's just drop Lampad and Grove Dancer. Oh, did I just mess that up? I did. Okay, well. Either way, like, I'm actually pretty happy that he counted that. Because we're actually going to be able to exile that from our graveyard anyway. And get a 2-2. That seems like a great deal to me. Especially because he wasted a card on it. Yeah, I definitely tapped that incorrectly. Okay, I think what we do here is just right off the bat, let's Funeral Rites. Jeez, he's really getting all he can out of that Hippocamp. That's what we were trying to do in the draft. We just couldn't make it work. Okay, so I think we just attack for 2 here and drop the Grove Dancer. We're doing fine. Plus we can exile the Marauder. Get another 2-2. Euphemia is really doing some work here. He's arguably doing more work than the Hippocamp, just because we are getting in for 2 every turn. And until he plays a Witness, and really after that, because we have a Plummet, we're in very good shape here. Unfortunately that we milled the Gary, but it's not like it'd only mill 5 or drain 5 here. So he's 2 mana up, which indicates that he could have Spirit Mantle. So I think instead of playing Final Death, we just play the Blight Breath here. And that way, you know, if he has anything, it's not like we wasted a whole card on it. Cool. Alright, we're in good shape here. Witness. Witness. Nah. Man, I want to play Witness so we can get around it. We can also, it's noteworthy that we can do 6 to him at any time by just sacking all our guys. I wouldn't want to do that in case he has like Omen of the Sun. We would feel very bad about that, but it's a good option. So I think actually what I probably should have done is sacked the Omen prior to drawing, and then that way we can get an extra 2/2. But as it stands, we're probably just going to attack for 2 here, and then sack Omen, scry 2, bottom top, drop land, drop Catablebus, or the Chimera, and then that way, even if he wraths here, it's like we're gonna get this back instantly. I'm assuming he's playing that on Euphemia, sure. Okay, so interesting that he didn't play it on the Lampad, because we're really close to just being able to knock him out. So if we attack here, he has 5 mana up, so I'm not really sure I want to do it, but we can drain him. He can block 4 of our guys, so he can block 1, 2, 3, 4, and we hit him for 5. So we'd have game if he has nothing. Alternatively, we just pass, final death one of his cards on his turn, and just see if he has anything else. We can also sack Euphemia on his turn, just because there's like nothing else. If he counters this, then like we're fine. Or Spirit Mantles, okay. Sure. Can't quite. It's not quite in Catablebus range here, but it's close. So I think we just Catablebus, and we hit the smaller sentry. I think we just make him keep having answers, and while we're developing our board, we're really developing a win condition because we can just drain him for however many creatures we have. Like if he has, okay, so we can't really attack this turn, but next turn we're at the point where we can just jam in. I think we sack Euphemia on his turn. Or we can just sack that guy. That way he won't gain life. Depending on how much mana he leaves open. I was gonna say, depending on how much mana he leaves open, we can probably just jam in. But now I just don't think we can do that. Well, let's see. If we final death the 4/7, we attack in with everyone. He can eat a 3/2. He would take 8, leaving him at 1. Yeah, that seems like a no-brainer. Let's go ahead and just do this now to just make sure he doesn't have any tricks or anything. Cool. And let's attack in. He has to block the 3/2s or else he's dead. He's going to be at 1 as is. And I think we just It'd be very difficult for him to come up with something that can prolong the game here. Okay. Yeah, I think we're in good shape if he's flashing back the glimpse of freedom or escaping it. Cool. All right, there's game one. So I think things that went well. Athena really did some good work this game, even though eventually she got neutralized. The Catobleepus has been very strong. Our Black Devotion's been pretty good. The game where Gary drained for 9 was awesome. Other than that, yeah, okay. On to round 2. All right, on to game 2. Or match 2. This looks like a keep here. Ideally, we get a 3rd land at some point, but at least we do have a 2-drop to go off of. Turn 3 in the Iroan games here seems great as well, because we can, even if the 1/1 gets killed, or whatever we put the counters on gets killed, we can drop the Chimera. But ideally, we do get a 3rd land soon. I think our opponent will have something to block this 4-1, more likely than not, so I think we just play out the first Iroan games and give him something to worry about. Okay, a little concerning that he's still not playing anything. Like, sure, I guess. Because even if he bounces it, we're still in good shape because we can just play the Chimera to draw the cards as well. Looks like he's not going to bounce, he's just going to take the 6. The only thing we'd have to worry about overcommitting to the board is the Wrath of Storms. But, like, just the ability to get it back with Chimera, or get Chimera back seems fun. Sure. The other thing is playing the Chimera basically gives us an insurance plan for getting 4-power creatures next turn for the Iroan games. Like, the only thing he could do that could really, really hurt us is the Wrath of Storms. And even that's not the end of the world. But the Mantle of the Wolf, it would be, great to put on next turn. What is that? Yeah. So Mantle of the Wolf would be lethal if he has nothing else to do. But given that he just thirsted for a meaning, the odds that he has nothing to do are probably very low. Alright. You're going to see some black from him, I guess. Sure. Okay. Alright, we get our 2 cards here. That seems awesome. So, a few things we can do. We can, 1, put our Mantle on the 2/2, which seems awesome. I think we just do that while he's tapped out. That just seems good. The only other thing that seems good doing as well is the playing both Discordant Pipers. But that way, this allows us to attack with our 2/2 this turn, which I think is worth it. And if he kills it, then we just get the 2/2s. I think we're in pretty good shape for this game. I think we're fine trading these because he's going to take 8 and we're going to get 2 2/2s. And then we have Final Death next turn. Again, the only thing he could really have that could hurt us is Wrath of Storms. I think we're so far ahead that we could just find a way to get the 4 damage in. Alright. Game 1 is ours. I just don't think... That was an uncharacteristically fast start for our deck. I don't see that really happening that often. We really didn't hit any of these 2-drops besides this guy. But, it's just the fact that he didn't really have any removal for this. Seemed good. We did see a Mire's Grasp that he milled. We didn't see. I don't think we saw any of his red cards. I'm just kind of curious. So maybe he's splashing red instead of black. Who knows? But something we excuse me, something we want to have our eye on to side in is potentially the lantern. Not that we saw anything that game, but I mean I think we just shipped this back pretty clearly. It was actually kind of interesting seeing that deck get out to a fast start. I just really didn't anticipate that. I don't think we can keep this hands. If we can hit a swamp on like in the next 2 turns, then that looks really good, but it just looks a little too risky. Sure, it seems fun. Probably put back the Marauder here. That way, if we get screwed on 2 lands, then we can at least have a play for the next 2 turns. Unclear whether we turn to Euphemia or the Discordant Piper. I think since we've seen Mire's Grasp from him, I mean, it doesn't really matter. He wouldn't target the Discordant Piper anyway. But I think we just run out the Discordant Piper. I just think with, you know, he definitely has removal in his hand. Oh, Nier definitely does have removal in his hand. I'm not sure I just want to run Euphemia out, like, super quickly. That's a pretty sweet draw. We've really been drawing pretty well throughout this entire draft so far. Excuse me. I am getting over a little cold, so sorry, stick with me. I know the coughing is annoying. Okay. Again, a little bit suspicious of Thrix mana, but like, I'm not gonna play around that. We have seen Vexingull from him, but like, I'm okay with him trading Vexingull for either of these creatures, so I think we just swing. Okay, he's gonna take the 6 here. Okay. So do we play the first Rowan games or Euphemia? I think we should play the first Rowan games. Continue to give him some threats. Because we are gonna get, like, if he counters this, then like we're fine with that. Because it's another turn that he wasn't advancing the board. And the second he plays something, we can just Warbriar Blessing or Final Death if we get another land. At some point, he's going to have to do something to the board. He can't just keep, you know, drawing cards and countering things. It looks like he's looking for maybe a red source. Oh, no, because he has the altar, so I don't know what he's looking for. Discarding, okay, Aspect of Lamprey, sure. Okay, this is, I think, pretty clear Vexingull mana. Unclear if we Final Death when he casts Vexingull. Oh, okay, Riptide Eternal mana. I actually think it's right to Final Death this year. I don't feel great about it, but like, he has 4 cards in hand, and he has the kind of deck that can just get us in the long run. I think we just need to get damage in while we can. And then, you know, like, if we stall out, then a Lampad would be a great draw, or like Gary. And then he's gonna have to have something in the air to stop Euphemia, because I mean, otherwise we're pretty set. Sure. Just gonna knock out here. Okay. We're 1 card away from getting that back, so I think we're fine. I think we just attack with Discordant here. And then when he blocks, which, well, maybe he won't. If he doesn't block, or if he does block, then we just get back the Loathsome Chimera. So there's two options. So one, we get back the Loathsome Chimera as a 5/2. The other option is that we get Euphemia and a 2/2. I actually like that option a little bit better just because we're going to keep the card in our graveyard. We're going to keep all the cards in our graveyard except for one of them. It won't be too hard to get another card in our graveyard at some point so that we can bring this Chimera back. And just the odds that he has something on the ground to block the Chimera were pretty high. Okay, here's another Chimera. That's fine. So at this point, I think we can just bring back the Loathsome Chimera and not feel too bad about it. We do have a lot of removal for at some point. If we ever get tired of things. Interesting to see if he trades here. I don't think he will, but I mean, him taking 4 is very good for us. Or taking 2 to go down to 4 is very good for us. Wow, okay, he's trying to... He's being pretty bold here. Alright, let's just drop this Chimera and pass. I get the Chimera and the Catoblepus confused. They're both big C words for Greek things. Although I did take 5 years of ancient Greek, and I never once heard of a Catoblepus, so... My fun fact of the day. He's continuing to draw a lot of cards. Which is not great for us, because he does have enough mana to just play other things. The fact that he discarded Myers Grasp is also not good. It means he has something, but I think we just gotta make him show us what he's got. We could have Warbriared, but I think it's so clear that he has something that I'm just not sure that we want to. Like I think this is Final Death mana. Maybe not. Okay. Well, it looks like he's going down to 2 here, unless he has something. Okay. Well, then I think we're in great shape for next turn. Because we have... If he counters this, then we're fine. Memory Drain. That's what it's called. I was trying to remember what it was called. Okay. So he's going to scry 2 here. He may put another counterspell in hand. But all we got to do is get 2 more mana, or 2 more damage through, and I just think our deck has a lot of ways to do that. And he put 2 cards on the bottom, which means he didn't like what he saw, which is good. Omen of the Dead? Sure. Probably bring back the Blight Breath. Yep. That is in fact the only creature in his graveyard. That's a little annoying. But I think we have enough outs with him being at 2 life. Now he doesn't have counterspell mana, so a land would be a great draw here. Not a land, but not terrible. I think we just drop this. I hate the idea of playing Catoblepus into counterspell mana, but like we are so far ahead in this game. He can only gain what, 3? He can gain 3 life with that. Oh, now he can tap that to gain life. Okay, that's kind of annoying. So he's gonna go back up to. Oh, he can go up to 6 here. He may just opt to keep that mana up to scare me with a counterspell, or keep the option of scrying. Probably what he's gonna do. I think, however, if we draw a land here, I think we just play the Catoblepus out. We didn't, so it doesn't matter. So, So a few options again. With 4 mana up, it's very unlikely that he has a removal spell. The only thing he could really have is Eat to Extinction, which is a rare. So I think I'm just willing to not play around that. So the options, I think, are that we Final Death the Blight Breath and attack, which makes Timorate of 2/4. So he'd have to go down to 1. Unless he has something. Or that we just Warbriar Blessing, kill the Blight Breath, and attack. That gives him the ability to trade for Nyxborn Marauder, which I don't think we want him to do, so I think we just Final Death, especially because we haven't really seen anything with Escape. If he counters this, then, like, it's not the end of the world. At some point, we are going to draw our 6th land, and we're going to be able to Blight Breath him. The other nice thing about exiling this is that he won't get the ability to gain an extra life off of it, which isn't, like, great, but it's, I guess, an additional upside. If he counters it, then, like, sure. Or he could just be scrying. Yeah, you could be scrying looking for the bounce spell. I think it's probably more likely. So, we just attack here. I'll probably just go down to 1. Unless he could have the Gull. And if he double blocks with the Gull and Timorate, we're fine with that. And him going down to 1 is just great for us too. Because again, we have both of those. Yeah, we haven't drawn one yet. So we still have, I think, 2 in our deck. The Lampreys. Oh, that's what he was thinking about doing. Okay. So he's going to look at he's just going to draw 2 cards, essentially. Okay. He can't gain 1 a turn with the altar, which is annoying, but not the end of the world. Okay. Chimera is good. We do need to get rid of that, because otherwise he's just going to start omening every turn. Cool. Okay, so now we can Catoblepas, hit the Shimmerwing, and attack. Well, yeah, I think that's actually fine. Although maybe, I mean, we really do need to just kill this Shimmerwing. He only has 3 mana up, which means that the only thing he could have to counter the Warbriar Blessing is Whirlwind Denial. Whereas he could have Denied the Divine for a Catoblepas, but like, ooh, yeah, and if he gets Catoblepas back, that's big with the Omen. It's tough, but I think also just resolving the Catoblepas here is pretty big because it gives us the ability to resolve another one extra to kill Timorate and just attack from there. If he's a counterspell, I'm going to feel bad. But he may also just be keeping this mana open to scry if I'm going to kill the Shimmerwing. It's not like he can bounce anything because both of these have enough devotion to kill that. Okay, so at this point we can't really attack. So we're just going to pass. Sure. But like we are at the point next turn where we can play a Catoblepas, kill Timorate, and make some good stuff happen. Okay, 2 cards on top isn't a great sign for us. You'd hate to see like an aspect of Lamprey here. That would be pretty devastating. Let's see. He still only has 1 creature in his he has 2 creatures in his graveyard, which means he can go up to 4 and then 5 with the altar. I think the sooner we draw the whatever the 1/3 draining card is, the better. Okay. So the fact that he put a card on top and just passed to us means that he probably has a counterspell. So I think what we do is we just run out the Piper here. He also could have a Final Death. But I think it's probably worth doing this. If he's a Final Death, I'm not going to feel that bad. Oh, Stern Dismissal. Okay. Got me. So we can go up to 5 here. But we're still okay. This has been one of those games where it's like been long enough that I'm starting to forget all the cards that I've gone through. Sure. Okay. Sure. The only thing annoying about that is that it reduces our devotion. Which actually puts Timber just out of Catoblepas range. Now, I think we just Marauder here, because it gives us the devotion back. He is going to get to see that we have the Catoblepas, which means they'll have a turn to prepare for it, but there's not a lot he can do with that information. I guess, alternative what we could have done is we could have killed the 2/1 and just attacked with the 4-power creature, which might have been better. Because he is going to keep gaining life, and that's just going to get him further and further away from the Lamprey range, or the 1/3. I'm not sure. Is he going to be able to kill us before he gets milled out? Let's see. 3, 3, 3. Yeah, he will. Alright, I think we just run this out, and if he's got something, then he's got something. So, interesting question, do we kill Timurit or the Devourer? I think we kill the Devourer, the Devourer, which brings Timurit down to a 2/4, or not. Okay, that's now starting to get a little problematic. That said, like, he doesn't have that many great attacks, because we're close to just being able to, like, if we play Voracious Typhon next turn, we're really close to just being able to ram into him with a bunch of creatures. And he can eat this guy, but, like, he'd still be taking lethal. Sure. He keeps milling non-creature cards, or sorry, non-land cards as well, which implies that he has a bunch of lands left in his deck, right? Right, so he has, what, 9 lands right now? Wow, okay, he's getting very greedy, I guess. Yeah, we aren't in great shape here. Um, Obviously, if we draw removal, it's basically over. Sure. That's a great draw. Okay, so what, he has 2 mana up. He can exile 2 cards to go up to 12. Which means that we have to do enough damage to make him block with Timber this turn. And then he can do 3, 4, 5, 6 on the crackback. Assuming he doesn't have, like, this guy, which would kill us because it would give him the 3 cards for, like, cheap. Which would give this +3/+0. So I think we just... we can mantle up a goat. That doesn't seem terrible. If he has a stern dismissal, then we lose, but like... let's see. Actually, if we mantle up a goat and attack, you can just eat one of these guys, take 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we'd be at 1. And then we would have just a goat to block the Timrit next turn. It's a little risky, but sure. Right, let's just make sure. I don't think we're gonna die, but... so we could do 3, 4, 5, 6... so, okay, so he's taking lethal, so he's gonna exile 2 cards from his graveyard. And then we just need him to not draw removal, essentially. Or anything that puts anything in his graveyard from the library. Yeah, he needs to exile both of these guys. Yeah, if he draws anything... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we can pump that to 6. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, he can pump it to 7, but I think we're okay. Unless he has removal. So we can have, like, Jag to the Underworld, but other than that, like, I think we're set. Because Freaka's Libation wouldn't do it. Oh, that's unfortunate. Wow, yeah. Oh, wait. Okay, well, I guess not. Maybe it's the last card in his deck. Alright, well, that's match 2. Alright, well, we got one more match to go perfect, so let's make it happen. Alright, here we are on our first game. 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 Alright, here we are on our first game.